My female 34 husband, 30, can be a total idiot when he's sick, and he made it clear, even while I'm dating, that I'm expected to step up whenever he gets sick because this time it shows who I am, especially when he's helpless and vulnerable. I thought he was just being overdramatic because we all get sick but don't expect to be pampered, but he corrected me, saying expecting me to take care of him even when he just has a cold isn't a luxury but is, in fact, a right, and this is how it's been for the past 2 years. He got sick with fever days ago. Even though I fed him, brought him his medication, and cleaned up his vomit and whatnot, he still called while I was at work and told me to get home so that I could do ridiculous tasks like reheating his soup or adjusting the heat in the room. So far, he had me leave work 3 times by lying, saying it's serious when it wasn't. I put my foot down and told him to stop interrupting my work, but he called once again while I was at work. Except this time, I refused to drop work and come home to see what other ridiculous demands he had. He must have called Mrs. Vicious, his mom, because she called me and scolded me left and right about what an awful person I was not to drop work and come to see what her sick son needed right away. I explained what he's been doing, but she still said I was wrong to ignore his calls. I had it, so I went home and had my husband get in the car, and then I took him to his mother's house. She met us at the door looking confused. I told her sick son needs a mother, not a wife at this time, and suggested she takes care of him till he's recovered, then he could come home later. She started yelling at me, saying stuff like, "Sharon, last name, get back here right now," but I drove off. My husband just kept watching, probably thinking I've gone crazy. I later got nasty texts from both of them accusing me of having a passive-aggressive attitude and also of prioritising work over his health and struggle. Other family members found out and joined in on the shaming as well, saying I could have taken time off work and stayed home with him. He's returning home tomorrow, and we haven't been talking for days. His mom is angry, probably wanting me to grovel with apologies for how I behaved recently. However, he doesn't do half of the things I do for him when I get sick. It wasn't as bad as now, so much that I think he's being deliberate, especially after complaining about work taking all my time while he's unemployed. Another thing is that part of why I put up with this is feeling like I should. If I don't do something he wants to be done, he will go on lengthy lectures saying stuff like, "This wasn't okay, Sharon. You shouldn't have done this or that, Sharon. I get upset and frustrated when you don't do this or that, Sharon." It's endless, just Sharon, Sharon, Sharon. And I think to myself that he's sick, so I'll cut him some slack. You know, after what happened, his family now calls me Raging Sharon or Crazy Sharon, especially my younger sister-in-law. So he's unemployed and you're the breadwinner, but he's willing to put your employment at risk just to satisfy his need to be a spoiled brat while he's sick with a minor illness? Not the idiot, OP. And I tell him if he needs someone at his beck and call while he's sick, he needs to hire a nurse out of his income and not expect you to give up your career for him. This man needs to grow up. Please do not have children with this man, as he sounds completely useless. Tell him to stay at Mom's house until he grows up, which is likely never. Not the idiot, but oh, why did you marry him? I don't get how someone could tell you exactly who they are, so you marry them anyway, then get upset they do exactly what they said they were going to do. Girl, a better question is, how fast can you undo that marriage? Divorce him, OP. This is not how a loving spouse should treat you. I would understand if he was seriously ill a lot, but he's a grown adult who can care for himself. The way he treats you, lying to you, this is not a loving relationship. This is toxic. This is not healthy. Divorcing him will also divorce his entire toxic, meddling family. OP, free yourself of all their BS. You deserve to receive the same love and attention you're giving. Sadly, I don't think you'll ever get it from any of them. My mother-in-law was at our house a couple of days ago to see some new furniture I bought. She fainted and fell off on her back. My husband freaked out and went straight to call an ambulance. I told him that he should drive her to the hospital himself, since his car was working, instead of paying X money for an ambulance. He said no and insisted on an ambulance. I tried to convince him since the hospital wasn't far, but he blew up at me and said that his hands were shaking and he couldn't drive her there. He yelled at me to move out of the way and called an ambulance. I decided to step back, but I was pretty mad. He went with her and got back in the evening. He started telling me how badly I behaved while his mom was injured. I replied that there was no need to waste money on an ambulance ride, especially since mother-in-law was conscious, and also since he had his car and could have driven her there himself. He lashed out, saying that he was in no state to drive and that it was ridiculous to care about how much an ambulance ride cost instead of his mum's health. I told him it's my house too, and he should get my input on whether to call an ambulance or not. Besides that, we have a policy to only call an ambulance for the people who live in the house, not visitors. He said I was mistaken for getting in his face and insisting there was no need for an ambulance. He's been sulking, claiming I don't care about his mum's well-being and only care about money and refusing to let it go. Am I the idiot? We have a policy to only call an ambulance for the people who live in the house, not visitors. This is one of the dumbest things I've read, and that's saying a lot. So you have a policy to only call an ambulance for the people who live in your house, visitors be damned? Could you be any more of an idiot? Who actually plans for emergencies ahead of time regarding who you will call an ambulance for? Sorry, you fell and broke your hip, Grandma. Walk it off and rub some dirt on it and then get in the car because you don't live here. Yes, you are the idiot, a huge one. Cruel and unbelievably stupid. What if they injured her any further by trying to move her themselves without any professional training and equipment? I feel like they could be held liable for that. Like, what if she'd injured her neck and them trying to move her made it worse and paralysed her? If someone ever fell so hard that they couldn't stand up and move around on their own within a minute or so, there's no way I'm going to move them anywhere. Driving when under that much stress is dangerous. Were you trying to off them both simultaneously? I don't know if you're just ignorant or naive, but holy moly. It's your mother-in-law, your husband's mom. But regardless, if it was a stranger, call 911. And in no way was your husband in the right frame of mind to drive. Goodness, you are the idiot on so many levels, and your level of audacity scares me. Please apologise to your husband and mother-in-law. You acted so wrongly in so many ways. Our family had a tradition of throwing huge birthday parties and buying those really big cakes. As we've gotten older, we've changed it to having a small birthday party with only the immediate family in the evening, and we pretty much just buy the same big cake, sing happy birthday, give presents and leave. Now, around 4 years ago, everyone kind of stopped eating the cake. My parents don't eat any because they have diabetes, and my 5 siblings don't eat because they're all really big on gymming and dieting. So basically what happens is, we buy this huge cake, and the only 2 people who eat it are me, teen female, and the birthday person. The birthday person takes 1 small slice the day off, and then I'm stuck finishing the cake. The only flavour I like is chocolate. I can eat the other flavours, but I don't really like them, especially the flavour my mom chooses, carrot. Yuck! I would like to point out that this is 7 cakes for anyone who thinks this is not a big deal. Each cake takes me roughly 2 weeks to finish, and because my family's birthdays are spread apart, I'm spending 14 weeks eating cake I don't like. That's like a quarter of a year spent eating cake I don't like. I asked if we could stop buying the huge cakes, but my family said it's tradition. So I asked if I could choose the flavour since I'm the one eating it, and they called me idiot and said that I should let the birthday person choose the flavour since it's their birthday. Am I the idiot? Edit. Everyone in my family has been overweight or has health issues except for me. They say I take after my aunt, who is really petite. So ever since I was a child, my parents would always be strict with everyone on diets and forcing them to work out, but I've always been let loose of everything. They've always been less wary about my health just because of this, even though I'm literally related to them. That's why I was forced to eat the cakes. There was just sort of expectation, like as the skinny person, it's my job to finish the cakes. It's kind of always been like this. And whenever I've tried to refuse to eat the cakes before, I've been punished and lectured for wasting food, trying to ruin the family tradition, and being a brat. The last time I tried, I wasn't allowed to attend soccer practice and had my phone taken away until I fixed my attitude. It's just easier to eat the cake than deal with that. My oldest siblings are 20, 19 and nearly adult, but they still live at home with us. Also, my mum's birthday is tomorrow. Although I've tried before, I think my only 2 options are just to endure the yelling and punishments until they give up, or wait till I'm older and move out. But I would have to eat 18 more cakes before that happens, and I really don't want to. Jesus, you all live together. They claim it's tradition to get a big cake, and you have to eat it because you're the only one without diabetes? Are you kidding me? It's like they're trying to give you diabetes. Wake up and stop eating the cake. Send it off to neighbours or toss it. OP, throw it away. It's not your waste, it's theirs. How will they learn to order less if you keep eating it all? Rather than thinking of it as wasting food, think of it as not giving yourself a one-way ticket to diabetes. Your family is ridiculous, OP. Just because you're fit doesn't mean you can eat a whole cake with zero consequences to your body. I wonder if there's resentment for OP and Aunt being fit, and that's one way they express it. Yikes. OP, tell them no. If they keep forcing the issue, tell your doctor or a teacher. It's never okay to pressure someone to eat food they don't want to eat, especially huge amounts of something so unhealthy. I'm going to say not the idiot with a caveat that nothing about the flavour of the cakes matter. Your family is a bunch of idiots because they seem to be shoving their insecurities onto you in cake form. Last year I got 2 puppy sisters, Sadie and Gizmo. They're big girls, so I have a 6-foot wooden fence around my property so they don't go running off and can't jump it. They're pretty well trained except for Sadie. It's been an uphill battle training her not to run after cats or cars when she's on the leash and out of the yard. So that's another reason I made sure I have a high enough fence to keep them in. They've got their own doggy door so they can go in and out as they please when I'm at work. My girlfriend is a scary driver, drives fast, swerves on purpose, etc. My house is off the main road, so she does it a lot coming and going when she visits or stays over. I hate driving with her and won't if I don't have to. Basically, everyone has warned her about it. A couple of weeks ago, I had to drive with her. My car had 2 flats and we just had a nasty snowstorm, so girlfriend was going to take me to go pick up 2 new tyres. True to fashion, my girlfriend goes fast on an icy road and is having a grand old time making her car fishtail on damn ice. Unfortunately, she lost control going round the turn and out of nowhere came Sadie and she got hit and sadly passed. I did everything in my power to not lose it on her then and there, got out and told her to go. I'd have a friend take me. I found a snowbank in the yard that had iced over and I guess Sadie jumped the fence that way. My girlfriend gave a half apology and swore it wasn't her fault, but I told her that if she just listened to me and virtually everyone else in her life about her driving, it might have been avoided. I told her to stay away for a couple of days while I figured out what to do. I was honestly pretty pissed she didn't offer to do anything, not help bury new dog, nothing. Since then, Gizmo's been pretty distressed and lonely, so I decided it'd be best for her if I got a new dog soon as possible. The guy my parents trade goats with had an older dog that needs to be rehomed, but he wanted a bit of money for him since he's a full-blooded Anatolian with papers, so $200 total. It works for me, the same breed as Gizmo, and she's been around him before. Since it was her fault, I told my girlfriend to pay for the new doggo. She argued about it and dragged her feet, but eventually she paid for it. The whole situation just soured her to me, and I broke up with her a couple of days later. So now she, her family and friends are saying I'm an idiot for not splitting the cost of the dog, and I should have regardless of what I thought because she was my girlfriend and it was just an accident. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She killed your dog because she wouldn't stop recklessly driving. What if your dog had been a child running onto the street? Everyone knows the dangers of reckless driving and she was notified enough times for her to have stopped, but she clearly doesn't care about the well-being of others if she continues this much. Do not pay for anything. This isn't on you. Also, was just an accident? No. Absolutely not just an accident. You only need to be told once not to drive recklessly like a goon for you to know it's inappropriate. And she continued, just an accident would imply she is not at fault, but she is. I'm honestly concerned that this accident will not drive it home for her. If there's a way for OP to report her, even if it's just to have someone in the law talk to her, then they should before she injures someone. OP, I'm sorry for your Sadie. Do what you can to ensure your ex-girlfriend won't do this to another pet. Or person. I don't know why girlfriend didn't take responsibility right away because she was responsible. Sure, accidents happen. While it sounds like this one could have been avoided, she still showed no compassion when you lost your dog. I'm glad you dumped her, and you should take it a step further and block her and her family and friends. I, 19 male, have a sister, Aria, teen. I also have a cousin, Kat, 22 female. Kat has been trying to get into college ever since she graduated from high school, but it just wasn't happening. She got rejected from every college she applied to. She finally got into a college this year. Aria is graduating this year. She's already been accepted to a college and so she will be starting this year. They will both be going to the same college. Last week was my grandpa's birthday. My parents, Aria, and I were at his place with Kat and her family, along with another uncle's family, not important. At dinner, Grandpa started asking Aria about her college plans. Aria told him that she would be staying on campus. Kat chimes in about how colleges should stop accepting students who graduate early. Note that graduating early is a pretty common thing here. She then directly attacked Aria, saying it wasn't fair that she had to share college experience with immature babies, and how pearl clutchers steal the limited number of seats available from the people who work hard to go to college. She then indirectly called my sister a self-centered brat. I mean, Aria and Kat are barely ever in the same room, so it's not like my sister always steals the spotlight from Kat. This wasn't the first time Kat accused Aria of being self-centered. My sister looked close to tears, so I said to Kat that the only self-centered immature baby in the room was her. She didn't say anything but got quiet for the rest of the night. Aria was happy that I defended her, but I got a nasty message from Kat's parents the next day saying that I should apologize to Kat for humiliating her. I said no. They have since been calling my parents, trying to make them get me to apologize. My parents are on my side, but when I was venting about it to my girlfriend, she said I should have confronted Kat in private instead of making her look stupid in front of family, and I should just apologize. Was I wrong? Not the idiot. She tried to humiliate your sister first. Good on you for defending her and putting your cousin in her place. You could have done it in private, but so could your cousin. If she wants you to apologize, she should start by apologizing to your sister. Oh God, this! Why do we have to respond to a public attack privately? If you say it in front of other people, I'll respond in front of other people. And it's a 22-year-old going after a teen. So what was the rest of the family doing? Just sat back and watched? I can't even imagine treating my younger cousin like that, and they sometimes do get very annoying. Normal teen behavior. Not the idiot. If she can dish, she can take it. Good on you for defending Aria. Also, reevaluate your girlfriend, or at least ask her to clarify. If Kat can insult a child in front of the family, why can't you insult Kat? If she understands this, yay, she's just misguided. If not, then consider reevaluation of that relationship. This times a million. The girlfriend doesn't seem to respect OP's sister. Public attacks deserve a public response. End of story. Being the bigger person doesn't get you the prize everyone thinks they get at the end. It gets you the prize of being a doormat. Oh, and I got a nasty message from Kat's parents the next day. Gee, I wonder why your cousin thinks it's okay to be a bully when her parents legitimize and defend such awful behavior.